I don't want to be strong like man who look pretty. I want to be strong like bitch that fight bears in the forest.
Welcome to another episode of Bitch versus Bear with your hosts, me, Amber, my bestie, Sydney.
Woohoo!
We are co-owners of Shield Maiden Training Co., and this is a show where we bitch, laugh, and chat about all things fitness and wellness related to women and the LGBTQIA plus community.
That is true.
I had to take a big enough breath before starting that.
No, you didn't.
Let's read it.
Well, I'm very excited.
I
This
know you are.
episode is kicking off the month of December for us.
It is.
It is a themed month. We're talking about the seasonal scaries. I'm very excited. So I would say that this is definitely more wellness focused because I think this time of year really impacts a lot of people's
Mhm.
just like overall wellness.
Yeah.
Um, and not just specific to women in the LGBTQIA, but I would say that probably there's a lot more scaries on those folks.
And that is the focus of our show. So that would make sense that we
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because, as like women, there's a lot of pressure put on you to make the most perfect Christmas.
Yeah.
Or Hanukkah or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that is your job.
Whatever your seasonal holiday is.
Yeah. Kwanzaa.
There's more.
There's so
I don't
many
know.
more.
Anyways,
So, despite the anticipation leading to the holiday season, this is, in fact, a difficult time for many individuals.
Mhm.
And the portrayal of the holidays in movies, on TV, all the Hallmarky shit,
love them.
the media, the Pinterest, where it's like, here's your perfect mantle. Like, I don't have that mantle. How do I make that mantle?
You have that mantle.
I don't have that mantle. My mantle's too high. It's very 1970s. It's not very in right now. See, there's a lot of pressure. You didn't even know. You didn't know because you don't have one, and so you don't feel the same pressure. Okay.
Okay.
All of these things make it seem like the holiday season and this time of year brings everyone together with fun traditions, and there's all these lovely family gatherings. But that's not always the reality.
No.
And I
No.
think one of the reasons, like, movies that make fun of that kind of stuff are so successful. Like, if you think about, like, um, National Lampoons and, like, just the hilarity that comes from this ridiculous time of year.
Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah, Christmas with the Cranks,
love that one.
Four Christmases.
Four Christmases, yes. I can very strongly relate to that one.
Yeah. It's like those things, like, you can be like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, this is why it's so funny because it's actual reality. You're, like,
Yeah.
pulling off of what people are actually feeling.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
So dealing with unhealthy or strained relationships between family members, loss and grief, the stresses of gift giving and financial strain are all part of the huge range of anxieties that people can experience during this time of year. No matter what you are personally going through, your emotions are valid. We are here to validate your emotions.
That is true. Yeah. So this episode,
Yes.
we're gonna talk about how to prepare for the holidays
Okay.
and maybe how to prepare for the stress of the holidays.
Ah, yes. That is what we're here for.
That is what we're here for.
Your decorations are on you.
Yeah. Yep.
We're here to help you prepare for the stressors.
We are not taking any bookings for decorating other people's houses.
Although that would be fun.
That would be a great side gig. Like, if somebody paid me to put up their Christmas lights, I would be all about it.
And like just go to town.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'd love that.
Their house would be a winter wonderland. Yeah. Give me your Amex. I will be like walking into fucking Macy's. Okay. So
Here we go. So what
here's
do we do?
some of the things that you can do to help minimize the stress and just like prepare yourself.
Okay.
You should know this one from me. Plan and prioritize. So
What?
this is the time of year we all start to feel those added pressures. So try and make a schedule and prioritize your time.
Mhm.
Learn to say no to some commitments.
Go back and listen to our boundary setting episode.
Yes, please do that. Make sure you're planning activities and events around your current structure.
Mm. Okay. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so no changing upending your whole life for this 1 month. Like,
No,
none of that business. That's stupid.
I agree.
Okay. Try not to slot in holiday commitments into your normal exercise or self-care time,
Mhm,
which I love.
mhm.
Like, yeah, if somebody's having a holiday party at your normal workout time, you're gonna be late to that party.
Yeah,
You maybe go a little stinky. Most places have showers in the
yeah,
bath, and you're fine. Yeah.
totally.
And commit yourself to your health and wellness.
Mhm.
Again, don't upend your current structure just for this one time of year.
Yeah,
Because a lot of us will get into that. Well, it's easy. It's only 4 weeks.
yeah.
I'll just do it. It's fine.
And that's not to say if there is a holiday party that you really wanna go to,
Yeah,
do it. Even if
absolutely.
it's during your normal exercise time, that's totally fine too.
Yeah.
It's just the not totally trashing your entire routine and schedule,
Yeah, and making exceptions for every little thing. Of like, oh, it's just this one time. Except,
especially if you don't really wanna do it.
yeah,
It's those obligatory things that you're giving up your time for.
yeah.
Mhm.
Again, go back and listen to boundary setting.
Yes, it's so important during this time of year. Okay. So, next, set a budget. Create a budget for your holiday spending and stick to it to avoid financial stress. This might sound obvious, but spending around the holidays can easily get out of control. I can attest to that. Holding yourself accountable and setting a budget can relieve stress in the long term.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it's yeah, like you said, it can easily get out of control.
Yeah.
And you're just like, "Oh, well, it's just a couple extra stocking stuffers. It's
Yeah.
just a
Like, oh, this thing would, like, so and so would love this, even though you already got them
yeah."
a present.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, set that budget, stick to the budget. You'll thank yourself during Q1.
Right? Yes. You'll get to January and be able to eat, and it'll
Yeah,
be great.
or February and be like, "Oh, shit, right, I have to pay my car insurance this month.
Mm,
I wish I hadn't have spent that extra $300 at Christmas time."
right?
Yeah, okay.
And this next one is apropos.
Apropos. So to really help you reduce and plan is make sure you have a good time management. You've already created that plan and you have decided what you're going to prioritize for the season,
Mhm.
and then you have to actually execute on it.
What?
Yeah. So that's where this time management becomes essential.
Mhm.
Using digital or physical calendar to keep track of all your commitments, including parties, family gatherings, and work related tasks, because we can oftentimes get into that, oh, well, I have so much going on in my personal life, so work kind of slides, but
Mhm.
it's the end of Q4. So for a lot of people, it's a wrap up and can be really stressful at work.
Yeah.
So making sure that you're balancing all of those. Allocate specific blocks of time for holiday related tasks such as shopping, decorating, and cooking, and then stick to those time blocks so they don't bleed over into all those other things. It's going back to like making sure you're sticking to your fitness routine and things like
Yes.
that. So, yeah.
Setting those time boundaries for yourself.
Yes, time boundaries for
Yes.
yourself. Exactly.
Perfect. So then that leads us to the next point, communicating your limits. Let friends and family know what your boundaries are and what your limitations are so that they can understand your availability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if juggling you know, households with children,
Mm,
that means you have 2 sets of grandparents probably, you've got, you just got a lot going
yeah.
on, and so just, like,
You've got school parties and I don't know, crap. I don't know what kids do.
yeah,
Stuff with your kids.
yeah,
You gotta
there's
go visit Santa and his reindeer or something. I don't know.
oh, definitely. So it's just making sure that you're really communicating those ahead of time
Mhm.
and sticking to those time boundaries, and that includes making sure your kids are sticking to their time boundaries as
Yes.
well, because they're the ones who can pull you off track.
So easily.
So easily. Like, "Oh, well, I just wanna stay an extra hour here," or
Yeah.
"Tommy and Jenny are going to this thing, and I really wanna go with them for the
Hmm.
it's like, make sure that you're having that conversation with them too,
Yeah.
especially when they're young. Like, you can start setting this really early.
Hmm.
It's like, 5-year-old, "No."
You start setting those routines for your holiday season early, then that's just what they grow up with.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
I could see like a big family calendar, like one of the like dry erase ones being
Yes.
really like important and like letting the kids have some ownership over like, okay, well, on this Saturday, from this time to this time, we're doing this holiday thing that I want to do. Because I remember being a kid and like, so funny. The season is all about children, but they don't have a
Is
lot
it
of
though?
freedom in making the choices for what they want to do.
Yeah.
Like, getting dragged around to holiday parties,
Mm,
all these different things, you know, oh, we're gonna go do this and we gotta go visit grandma here and we gotta do that. Like sometimes it's
mhm.
it's okay. Like if they just wanna have a relaxing Saturday afternoon, like,
Watching Christmas movies
yeah,
or decorating cookies or
yeah.
baking a gingerbread house. I don't know.
Just
Those are all things I want to do, but
yeah, those are all things I wanna do too. But I think that can be really empowering for them
Mhm.
because so much of like being it's their holiday break too. And they a
Yeah.
lot of times they kinda get schlepped around.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. Okay.
Okay. So this one is very practical in that it is an application that you can do before the holidays. Is deep cleaning your home.
Hmm, okay.
And yeah, what I like about this one is so much of what a lot of stress we put on ourselves is like our home has to
Mm,
represent the spirit of the holiday and how we're feeling and
be presentable and
yeah, and, like, we have to make it this glamorous thing, and it has to be a winter wonderland, and it has to be all these things, and I think one of the things to help, if that's what you wanna do, is making sure that you're deep cleaning early,
yeah,
right? So, like, get it ready so that you can just easily whip out all the decorations and just throw them out, because
yeah,
I remember as a kid, we had to clean before we put up the decorations,
yes.
and so, like, that made it not so fun.
Fair.
But if you do it early, like if you do it in November and you're like, I've changed all the air filters.
Yeah,
I've wiped down above all the
yeah.
cabinetry and
You
all of
do all
that.
the odd tasks that you only do a few times a year or
Yeah,
whatever.
clean the baseboards, wipe down the walls.
Or when, like, family's coming, like your mom's coming to visit,
Yeah,
and you're like, "Oh,
yeah.
I should probably
But if you
do
do
some
that
cleaning."
ahead of like Thanksgiving, even,
Mhm.
then it's done. You just wipe your hands and be like, boom, freshen
Just
it up. And that way it reduces just like your anxiety, especially if you have folks who just like to like pop over.
mm,
I don't I'm a
I don't have
millennial,
that.
so I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, it's
If
weird,
if you don't send a text first, like, who are you?
right? Who just drops by?
Who just shows up? Which is so weird because as a kid, I would just it was nothing to go knock on your friend's door.
Well, yeah,
But now, if one of my friends as an adult came to my house and knocked on my door, I'd be like, 1, why are you knocking? And 2, where's my courtesy text? Not a phone call, a text. I wanted him writing.
exactly. I mean, to be fair, I don't expect anyone to come over here except you to record, so this is not a priority for me.
You also don't invite us over.
Yeah, well,
That more to come on that later.
TBD in the new year.
Yeah.
Would love to invite you over more if I had a place that wasn't embarrassed to have people over to.
I'm really excited for your potential new place. I got to tour some new places with Amber. That was one of the more exciting things I've gotten to do recently because I love looking like
I do too.
I would make a great realtor mainly because I love looking at other people's
Oh my
homes.
god, I do too.
And I also just like sometimes I'm like, why did you make that choice? There's a little bit of judgy, but also sometimes you find some really cool things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways. All right. What do we got next? All right. While necessary, those probably don't involve a ton of holiday spirit, our suggestions above for prepping for the holidays. So I think I gave Sydney all these. Sydney has some other suggestions for how we can really get into the spirit because she is Buddy the Elf.
I am Buddy
So
the
I
Elf.
gave you this section to
Oh,
tell us how we're getting in the spirit.
okay. So here are some things to get you into the spirit because the things above are very like
Practical and
practical. These are practical but they're more holiday-like.
Mhm.
Do a random act of kindness.
Love that.
So, buy the people behind you a Starbucks coffee if you can afford a Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
Hold a door open, ask the elderly shopper at the store if you can help take out their groceries to their
Yeah.
car. The holidays, most people are buying more than they often would, which can really be, impactful for the elderly trying to like I'm thinking about like a big turkey or like a
Yeah.
ham. Like
Trying to
they
get that back out to your car.
yeah, they usually have like a pretty set list that they
Mhm.
do week to week, and this is going to be a much bigger endeavor for them.
Mhm. Mhm.
This one, personally, donate to a local animal rescue or shelter. It doesn't have to be
Yes.
your money. It could be your time. It could be some goods like old towels,
Mm.
blankets, dog toys, a couple of collars, things like that. I
Yep.
know right now shelters are really overwhelmed. There's a lot of dogs out there and cats and things. So just making sure that you're trying to give back if that's something that you're really passionate about, like I am. This one is something you get to, to make and enjoy.
Okay, what is it?
Make wassail.
What is wassail?
Haha. Wassail is like the tastier sister to apple cider.
But apple cider is already so tasty.
I know that this is tastier. So
Okay.
traditional wassail was made with like a hard liquor, usually
Fantastic. I'm on board.
like a whiskey or a rum, those kinds of things.
You
Apples,
had me at hard liquor.
brandy, and like kind of like all of those like muddling spices that we're
Mm,
familiar with.
okay.
It's also really easy to make non-alcoholic for like kiddos, and it
Yeah,
just sits on your stove or in your crock pot, and it makes your house smell great, and it's very tasty.
great.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
excited.
Yeah,
I
I
assume you'll be making this at some point during the holiday season.
maybe I make wassail. Yeah, I'm gonna make wassail.
Okay, great.
Okay. I also really like this one. I hadn't thought about this before, and I was doing a little bit of research of like, what are some kind of cool ways to get into the holiday spirit?
Mhm.
Learn about other cultures' holiday traditions,
Ooh, I love that one.
which I think is super cool because there's so many out there,
There are.
and it's a great like learning opportunity if you have kids, showing them that while we participate in this specific type of tradition, there are other countries and other
Mhm.
cultures around the world that do other things and get them involved in that. Usually, I gotta say the holiday season usually revolves around making food in
Ah.
almost every culture that I was looking at. So like
Yes.
it's a cool way to expose them to different types of food and
Ooh,
yourself to different types of food.
yes.
So I think that one's a really fun one.
Ooh, I love that one.
Yeah. I also really like okay, I like all of these.
I know you do.
Okay. This one I thought was super cool. Host a holiday afternoon tea for friends or family instead of doing like a big evening party.
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
that too.
It's also gonna be less expensive.
Can we have wassail instead of tea?
Sure.
Great.
Yeah, and make like little finger sandwiches and have little cookies and jams and jellies and like do that kind of stuff. And then you're not having what?
Have hot toddies.
I thought you said hot dogs, and I was like, is that part of
A little party hot dog.
is that a part of a culture tradition that I don't know about? Pigs in a blanket.
Ooh, I do love a pig in a blanket. Mm.
Um, okay, hot toddies. We could do hot that. Yes, you could. Your host, your holiday afternoon tea could be a hot toddy themed party. Um, so I thought that was fun. And
I
then
like that.
you know, a nice spa day at home or at a spa,
Mm.
but making sure you're getting some of that self-care in and just like
Yes.
taking time to like decompress a little bit. This is the perfect time to, you know, take that hot bath with like a bath bomb or do a face
Mm,
mask or get a massage.
yes.
Yeah. If you're going to treat yourself once a year, why not make it around the holiday season?
Right?
Yeah.
It's a great time.
That's what I thought.
Use that bath bomb that your mother-in-law gave you last year to
Yeah.
finally.
Yeah. Finally use it. You remember when you opened it and you were like,
Oh, this is great.
this is great. I got you a $300 purse and you got me a set of bath bombs.
Put them to use.
Yeah, put them to use. Crack open some champagne or some wassail.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I love those ideas. I'm excited.
me too.
Okay. So, being aware of these stress factors is essential for getting over them or through them, around them, whatever you need to do.
Whatever you need to do.
And you have to be incredibly honest with yourself if you want to have a chance at a less stressful holiday season. I like that. If you worry about the financial aspects, draw some boundaries. We always discuss with friends and family the limits of Christmas spending. It may be cliche, cliche, but how much you spend is not indicative of your love towards others. I don't know what you mean by that. I always judge how much someone loves me by how much I get. I do not. I do like that because I like the being honest with yourself part because I think we talked about this last year. You know, you just kind of go along with what your family wants you to do, what friends want you to do. These obligations that you feel like you have to go to parties or go to dinners or whatever's going on.
Yeah, or you even have to
And
go stay at
yeah,
it's just, like, one of those things where it's like, does this
is this actually what I want?
is this actually what I want? Does this bring me joy?
Or is this what I should be doing?
Yeah, it's like our whole year
It's been leading up to
has
this.
been leading up to this. It's like it's very cyclical.
It is. It is.
Last year was such an impactful December for us that we just all year long we were how can we make sure we have a better holiday season every year?
We hope you've been following along and improving your boundary setting and your
Yeah, and not
honesty with
shooting
yourself,
yourself and
taking care
financial
of your
boundaries
self-care.
is amazing. Go back and listen to every episode if you haven't. Okay,
All right.
so to wrap it up, if you hate crowds, shop online.
Mhm.
If you want less things, ask for experiential gifts.
I love
If you
that
hate
one.
cooking, order something or divide the dinner hosting responsibilities.
Mhm.
If you don't have the time to buy and address Christmas cards, send an email or call the most important people. Identify what causes you stress and don't be ashamed about it.
Mhm. Set those boundaries.
Yeah,
Even if people don't like them, it's okay.
it's okay.
If they love you, they will understand
And if
or
they
at least accept them. They may not understand them, but
they may not understand them, they
just
may
accept
have a hard time accepting them, and then maybe one of the gifts you give them is a Groupon to therapy. Just a suggestion for that could be their experiential gift. I don't know if that's the most backhanded gift or not, but
Oh, that is some passive aggressive.
no, yeah, I think for me, I would just be like, "Think you need therapy? Look at what I got you." I just what I like about this is, like, don't be ashamed about the things. Like,
Yeah.
don't be forced into a holiday box
Mhm.
of, like, if you don't have time for Christmas cards, fuck
Don't
'em.
do them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some really cool emails out there like this.
There are.
Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Don't be forced to be like, "Oh, you have to shop small." Like, if you hate crowds and it just sets your teeth on edge to have to go into shops and, like, deal with people and get coughed on, go on Amazon.
yeah.
Try and
Or
order everything together so you have one
or
big
look
box.
around. Like a lot of small shops do allow you to order online.
Yeah.
Go to Etsy.
Go to Etsy. Perfect place.
Is Etsy okay? Are we okay with Etsy?
Oh, yeah, I like
Okay.
Etsy. Yeah.
I didn't know if there's.
If you have book lovers,
Mm.
Maggie Moos.
Ooh, yes. Maggie Moo's.
Well, we should tag her in this episode.
We should. Maggie Moo's has amazing bookish stickers and mugs and
Tote bags and books
notebooks.
and it's great.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good. We're
And
gonna
you're supporting
small business.
small business.
Very sweet. She's got a bunch of cats.
She does have a bunch of
I
cats,
love
I
seeing
think.
the stories of the kittens that like found their way to her house.
You know what's weird? It's all these people find cats and, like, I never find cats. They don't just, like, walk up to me, but there's so many people on Instagram, "Hey, I found this kitten." Like, I have good friends and, like, her husband always seems to, like, attract cats, and I must repel them. 'Cause I
You
don't
do,
find any dumpster kitties or anything like that.
except for Ace,
Yeah,
who you attracted.
yeah, well,
Mhm.
so there you are.
It always reminds me of the Gilmore Girls episode. Connected very strongly with Lorelai when she was, I don't know, after what relationship it was. She's calling Rory at school, and she's like, "Cats are here.
The cats are here.
They know." I was like, "That's gonna be me someday."
This is
Just
a
gonna show.
complete side tangent.
Mhm.
Um, we're Gilmore girls.
Mhm.
It's a thing. So I realized, why I love The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It's written by Amy, the same woman who
Oh
did
yeah,
Gilmore Girls.
that makes sense. Yep,
Yeah,
love Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
yep, yeah, so that's why the connection is there.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. They have that same vibe.
Yep. Fast
Mhm.
talking independent women.
Great.
Alright.
All right, is that That's it. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap for starting to
First
prepare for the holidays.
first episode of December.
Yeah.
Whew. All right, so stay tuned next week for our gift giving guide. Ooh, I'm
Yeah.
excited for that. Sid just revamped our entire December, so I don't know what's coming.
Well, we're gonna do a gift giving guide because I got some messages from some people of like, oh, my so and so just got into this, fitness routine or is
Ooh,
looking, and what should I do? What should I
ooh,
get them? How do
that's
I
exciting.
support them in this? And I'm like, you know what? This is a great topic for the podcast. Thank
Love it.
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, listeners.
Yeah. We appreciate it.
All right, so keep listening, commenting, and sharing the podcast. And I guess that's it.
That's yeah. Cue
Cue
music.
music.